I'm gonna rest. I'm gonna enjoy my family. But if the money is right, I made that call. If the money is right, I can fight right now.
After his victory over Jamie Munguia, Canelo Alvarez finally answered the big question about fighting David Benavidez. Immediately after the win, both fighters had an exchange. YouTuber Showbiz the Adult had some advice for Benavidez and suggested that he quit pursuing a fight with Canelo and hopefully bless you with a fight. By that time, you won't even be the best you. I think Ben should make his own lane and be his own man. Make his own name so he can be the guy who can do whatever he wants because I'm Mexican. Canelo hasn't given fans a clear response on whether he will fight Benavidez next during the post-fight press conference. Here's how he responded to the big question on everyone's minds with everybody you asked. But right now, I'm in the position I can ask him to, and I can do whatever I want, and we'll see what happens. So will Canelo fight Benavidez in September? What do the experts and pros have to say? Stick around and watch as we find out in this video. Canelo Alvarez celebrated yet another victory as he defeated fellow Mexican boxer Jamie Munguia in Las Vegas last night. The boxing world was never in favor of Canelo fighting Ja, as they all wanted to see the undisputed super middleweight champion fight. The undefeated David Benavidez, who has been calling out Canelo for over a year now, nevertheless, everyone celebrated the victory and was eagerly waiting to see who he would fight next. David Benavidez was also present ringside during the fight, and immediately after the fight both fighters were involved in a heated nonverbal exchange. Canelo looked at Benavidez and pointed to the boxing ring as if to say, "You're next." This seems like amazing news for the fans, as this is a highly anticipated fight with millions of fans wishing for this matchup. However, during the post-fight interview, Canelo was asked about the possibility of the fight happening next, and he put forth an outrageous condition on being asked about fighting Benavidez next. Canelo seemed hesitant, stating, "I don't know right now." However, within seconds, Canelo explained how prospects for the Mead bout can instantly change. "If the money is right, I'll make that call." Alvarez told Gray that if the money is right, I can fight right now. I don't give a. Canelo also used his post-fight interview to remind Benavidez and the boxing world that he calls the shots and has earned the right to do so. "Right now, I can ask whatever I want," he tacked on, "for good measure, and I can do whatever I want." It looks like Canelo will keep his fans guessing until he announces who he'll fight next. He might be open to fighting Benavidez next, considering his exchange with the Mexican monster after the fight. But it's worth noting that Canelo might still be undecided about this fight. So should Benavidez continue pursuing this fight? YouTuber Showbiz the Adult had some advice for Benavidez. As he discussed the interim champion's current situation, he highlighted that Canelo set a high price of $200 million for the fight, which suggests that Canelo might be setting terms that are not just high, but perhaps strategically out of reach, indicating he doesn't see the fight happening anytime soon. Showbiz emphasizes that this price point effectively places the fight out of immediate possibility.
Hopefully bless you with a fight. By that time, you won't even be the best you. I think Benavidez should make his own lane, be his own man, make his own name, so he can be the guy who can do whatever he wants.
He advises Benavidez to focus on his own career path instead of waiting for a fight with Canelo, suggesting that Benavidez should pursue becoming undisputed at light heavyweight or even consider moving up to cruiserweight, according to Showbiz. Benavidez planning his career without depending on a Canelo fight is a smarter move. This would allow him to continue progressing in his prime without being stalled by the uncertainties of a high-profile bout that may not materialize. Moreover, Showbiz the Adult reflects on the broader implications of waiting for big fights like these, mentioning how boxers can risk their prime years waiting for opportunities that might never come. He stresses the importance of fighters making their own names and establishing their legacies independently. The discussion encapsulates the complexities and strategic decisions that boxers face in navigating their careers, especially when potential MVP fights are considered alongside personal growth and long-term career planning in the sport. David Benavidez also spoke to Hub TV after the fight and revealed whether he plans to confront Canelo, the Mexican monster, who is all set to take on Alexander Guic at light heavyweight on June 15th, and emphasized his readiness to move forward irrespective of a potential fight with Canelo. Benavidez expressed a sense of frustration regarding the negotiation complexities surrounding a fight with Canelo, particularly pointing out the high financial demands that have been made. He questioned why Canelo would ask for an exceptionally large sum if he didn't see Benavidez as a significant challenge, suggesting that such demands might indicate Canelo's recognition of him as a formidable opponent.
With everybody, you asking, so, but right now I'm in the position I can ask him to. So I'm in the position I can ask him to, and I can do whatever I want, and we'll see what happens.
Benavidez stated that if Canelo truly believes he is superior, he should be willing to prove it in the ring for a reasonable purse rather than setting financial barriers that complicate the fight's materialization. He conveyed a mixture of readiness to fight and disillusionment with the ongoing narrative that ties him primarily to Canelo, asserting his desire to focus on his career trajectory. He also mentioned his recent move to the light heavyweight division, indicating that he feels stronger and more suited to this class after outgrowing the super middleweight division, where he had competed for many years. While open to returning to 168 libs for a super fight with Canelo, he emphasized his focus on pursuing championships at 175 libs and possibly moving up further. Ultimately, Benavidez expressed a desire to forge his own path, winning more titles and perhaps aiming for undisputed status at light heavyweight. He hopes to leave a legacy defined by his achievements rather than his potential matchups, signaling a forward-looking perspective that prioritized his personal and professional growth over any single fight, even one as high-profile as a bout with Canelo Alvarez. David Benavidez has moved on and will likely win his first title at light heavyweight this June. Nevertheless, he also had a response to Canelo asking for $200 million.
Ridiculous. I mean, he's definitely, it's like, you know, in order for me to take the risk to fight David Benavidez, you got to pay me 5 times more than I've ever been paid. So
we do not know whether the Canelo versus Benavidez fight will happen anytime soon. The boxing world is still celebrating Canelo's victory, with the experts still reacting to this fight. Donato Donaire recently shared his thoughts on Canelo's performance against Munguia, highlighting Canelo's improvement and power that he demonstrated in the fight. He noted that while it wasn't Canelo's most dominant performance, it was one of his most entertaining ones, mainly because Munguia was willing to engage, pushing the fight, and showing his Mexican heart. Donaire praised Munguia for not just trying to survive but actively competing, which contributed to the excitement of the match. He expressed admiration for Munguia's resilience, especially after taking strong hits, but continuing to push forward, embodying the spirit of a Mexican warrior. According to Donaire, this fight revealed Munguia's capacity to bounce back, showing he still has a lot to offer in boxing despite the loss on the subject of Canelo facing David Benavidez. Donaire expressed a personal desire as a fan to see that fight happen, recognizing the appeal it holds for the audience. However, he acknowledged Canelo's autonomy in deciding his fights, stressing that Canelo has earned the right to choose his opponents and the conditions under which he fights, including the financial aspects. Donaire hinted at the boxing community's anticipation of the fight, but reiterated that Canelo's decisions are largely influenced by his career strategy and market considerations, implying that while the demand for a fight with Benavidez is high, the final decision rests with Canelo.
Yeah, to be honest with you, the only way I'll stick to 168 if Canelo gives me the fight. But like I said, I've kind of outgrown the weight class. You know what I mean? I've been there for a long time. I was already at the doorsteps of what I had.
Female boxing champion Claressa Shields also shared her thoughts on Canelo's performance and a potential clash between Canelo and Benavidez. Shields praised Canelo's consistent form and tactical approach, emphasizing that despite some experts suggesting he looked sluggish, she saw him as dominant, particularly in his strategic body shots that debilitated Munguia's ability to fight effectively. Shields pointed out that Canelo managed to wear down Munguia, especially noting how Munguia struggled with throwing punches after being hit hard on the arm. Shields was impressed with Munguia's resilience as he managed to pass all 12 rounds and fight harder than many of Canelo's recent opponents, including notable fighters like Charlo and Saunders. She described Munguia's approach as bold, taking and giving shots, and even managing to momentarily rattle Canelo during the fight.
David a different type of animal, but it's a fight I would love to see, and seeing this fight, I still want to see. I still think the only man that can beat.
Regarding the potential fight between Canelo and David Benavidez, Shields expressed her enthusiasm for seeing that matchup, suggesting that Benavidez presents a different kind of challenge for Canelo while acknowledging Ben's distinct style and capabilities. She still maintained that the only boxer she sees capable of truly defeating Canelo is Terence Crawford, highlighting Crawford's skill set as uniquely suited to challenge Canelo's dominance in the ring. Shields' commentary reflects her deep respect for Canelo's capabilities while also recognizing the competitive spirit and toughness brought by Mangia. Her perspective as a professional boxer adds a layer of understanding to the nuances of the fight that might not be apparent to the average viewer, illustrating the strategic depth and physical demands of high-level boxing. She balances her analysis with anticipation for future bouts that might redefine or reinforce Canelo's standing in the boxing world. The boxing world is eager to see Canelo fight David Benavidez next, but what do you think? Is this fight going to happen? Let us know in the comments. That's it for today. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Turn on the bell for the latest notifications so that you never miss out on videos like this. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.